What's up, guys? Neutral Zone here, and we have a long-awaited video. It's been about 2 weeks since we released the video, but we have a really big one for you. Honestly, probably one of the biggest videos of this kind of like getting ahead scouting series, and honestly, one of the biggest videos of the summer before,
For
I don't
sure.
even know, maybe like some team previews before the season starts. But we have our quarterbacks today, and obviously, these are the guys that usually win the Heisman's, are the talk of the towns, are the potential number one overall picks,
Yep.
the franchise changers. So me and Isaac have watched some of the quarterbacks in this class, and how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude. I got a bit behind with quarterbacks and everything. They're long watches usually because there's a lot more tape,
Yep.
but excited to talk ball. Been a long way to video, like you said. It's been over 2 weeks since we did our wide receiver video, so we're gonna.
Which is doing pretty well too. It has like
I
70
I
views. Hell yeah.
I know we need to get another one out for the people that are watching. So
I know.
yeah, we're gonna talk Julian Sayin, Dante Moore, Lenore Sellers, all these guys. It's gonna be fun, and this is a good class, so I'm excited.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably say that about most of the positional groups in this class, but
Yeah. I think the thing with this class, and I don't know if you got this consensus, sometimes it feels like there's guys where people know going into the last year of college, they're gonna be the number one overall pick. Like I think the first like Caleb Williams, when he came back to college for his last year, everyone was like, this guy's probably gonna go number one overall. You know, I remember there's just a lot of guys like that where they have to stay in college. I will say with this class, I don't really think there's anybody like that stands out, but there's a lot of guys that I think have first round potential to take the
for
leap
sure.
that makes this class really good.
Well,
And
and
that's
there,
what
yeah.
to talk about because we have to decide who we think is going to be that guy.
Well, and there's already guys that we're predicting first round, but then there's also guys who could jump into the first round after a good year. So it's a really
yeah.
interesting class. It's going to be really fun. But yeah, I'm excited. And are you ready to get this going here?
Yeah. Anyone you want to start with in particular? You want to take it from the top or maybe go niche first?
I'd say we just start with Julian Sayin, some of the big names.
That's fair. Okay, so do you want to I'll just introduce him like I do, and then yeah. All right, so Julian Sayin is obviously the quarterback out of Ohio State, was a Heisman finalist this year. He will be around 22 on draft day. He is 6'1", 208 pounds. In 2025, he had 3,610 passing yards, a 76.8 completion percentage, 32 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, a 92.9 PFF grade. PFF charted him for 23 big-time throws with a 5.7 big-time throw percentage. He had 6 turnover-worthy plays for a 1.4 turnover-worthy percentage, an 82.5 adjusted completion percentage. He had a 16.1 pressure to sack percentage, a 2.91 time to throw, and in his recruiting class, he was a 5-star, the first quarterback, and the 6th overall player in the 2024 class. Obviously committed to Bama and transferred when Saban left.
Yep.
Kind of stings, but we have Keelan now anyways. He's at Ohio State now and has been pretty damn good. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I mean, he was the first guy I watched because I started by just going down the PFF list, and they have him listed at number 2
Yeah,
in
they
this
love
class. They love him, and I thought he was good. I really liked what he showed this last year. He's coming off an outstanding redshirt freshman year. This was basically his first year starting. He's looking to cement himself as a top 5 pick in the 2027 draft. He showcases excellent ball placement, accuracy, throw power. I thought he was great at going through his progressions, not afraid to take the check down if necessary. That's a skill that some quarterbacks don't have. You know, a lot of quarterbacks want to make the big splash plays. I think Sayin was good at being able to recognize when the check down was open and when to make that throw. I thought he had quick release and pocket awareness for the most part. I think there were some plays that he needs to improve. But for the most part, I think he was good on that. And he had really solid production this year. I mean, he, like you said, he put up 3,600 yards, 32 touchdowns, and he's on Ohio State in a good conference. So that's nothing to scoff at. This was his first year starting. So again, that's really impressive. And on a 76.8% completion rate, he was efficient, he was accurate, and that says a lot about his game. I think the biggest concern for me about Sayin was kind of he melted down a little bit in the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
He struggled. He threw 3 interceptions and only 2 touchdowns in those last 2 games. And those are the biggest games of the year for Ohio State. Obviously, they won the first playoff game, but then the second one against Miami, they really struggled.
Yeah, and it was their offense too. It was on Sayin.
It was on
Sayin. Kind of
Sayin.
disappeared too, but
But yeah, I thought overall he didn't play the best against good competition. Something to improve on this next year for sure. But yeah, I really like Sayin, especially for his first year starting. That was an excellent showing. Excited to watch him this year. I'm also excited to see what he does without not without Jeremiah Smith, without Carnell Tate and some of his other weapons, because they got drafted this year. See how his play translates. But yeah, I like Julian. Again, excited to watch him this year, and I would like to hear what you have to think. So
yeah, so I thought watching him, there's definitely ups and downs to Julian Sayin tape. I think the Texas game, the Miami game are good instances where you're kind of like, you wanted a lot more for him, and those games were closer / the reason they lost was pretty much because of him, right? But when you remember that this is his first year starting and he's a redshirt freshman this year,
for sure,
you realize he's a very, very strong processor, great field IQ for this first year. I mean, honestly, his completion percentage and big time throw rate are both good.
Yes.
I like what you said with the check downs. You can tell kind of with this processing and IQ ability that he's not afraid to take these kind of like safety blanket, safety net type plays, just take the check down, hits the big plays when they're open and does that very well. But for a first year starting quarterback and for a kid that's 21 years old, I mean, he sees the field excellently and you love to see that. The thing with me for Sayin is I think, there's a few issues I have with him. He has virtually zero rushing ability. I mean, I see this guy talked about as the first overall pick. And it feels like the most dynamic offenses in the NFL and all the really, really good quarterbacks have rushing ability. I mean, you think about Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, I even Love, though. I think he's a good enough athlete that he actually makes plays occasionally. Sayin really doesn't at all.
Yeah.
He also lacks ideal size. 6'1", 208 is whatever for a franchise quarterback. I mean, it's not like he's like petite or really small or anything, but I mean, he's just like you wish he had about 10 to 15 more pounds and maybe 2 more inches on his frame. And I also kind of feel like his arm was a little lacking. I feel like he has to kind of like really step into some of these throws that are deep down the field. And yes, his big time throw percentage was good, but I kind of wonder if he was carried by Carnell Tate, who caught all those contested catches, as everyone knows, and Jeremiah Smith. And it's going to be tough because even this year evaluating him, he's still going to be throwing to Jeremiah Smith. So if he does declare, that's kind of going to be a big what if.
Right.
But I think overall, for how smart of a player he is and for how well he carried himself as the previous year Natty winners quarterback, like, honestly, I think he still has first round potential. I'm not there yet with the top 10 or the first overall, but I'd be lying if I said he didn't have the IQ and the mental traits to definitely step up and take it there. And let's be real, he's playing at Ohio State. If he plays lights out this year, it's not like anybody's going to not see it. Like, front row center.
I mean, he automatically warrants a look into his top 5 draft potential just because he is a good Ohio State quarterback. And
And he was a Heisman finalist this year, too. Now, was it a very weak Heisman class? Yes. But still, at the end of the day, he was debatably a top 2 college quarterback, at least on the national media scale. But, yeah, I think he has first-round potential.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about Dante Moore, or you have anything else to say with Sayin?
No, I think you hit most of it. I think I hit most of what I wanted to say. Like you said, I think he's a great player to watch this year. It will be interesting to see if he puts together another good year without Carnell Tate. I know he still has Jeremiah Smith, like you said, and that's going to be hard to...
Oh, no, he only has Henry Jr., Brock Boyd, and all these other guys.
He only has the best wide receiver prospect of all time, but that is definitely something to watch, but we'll see if he puts another good season, and that is Julian Sayin. So, yes, on to Dante Moore.
Yeah, so Dante Moore, the quarterback out of Oregon, he will turn around 22 on draft day, 6'3", 206. I have the 2 notable seasons for him as 2023 in UCLA, his 1 year starting there. He had 1,609 passing yards, 53.3% completion percentage, only 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a 57.7 grade. I'm not really going to get into the advanced stats that season. It wasn't very great. Obviously, following this bad overall season at UCLA, he transfers to Oregon, sits a year, and now this year, he has had his kind of just a lot better season. 3,550 yards, 71.6% completion percentage, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He had a 90.2 PFF grade. 30 big-time throws for a 6.9 big-time throw percentage, 13 turnover-worthy plays for a 2.7 turnover-worthy percentage, 16.7 pressure-to-sack percentage, and a 2.54 time to throw. And then on the ground, he added 295 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 9 fumbles, and obviously, as a recruit, this guy was really big coming to UCLA. He was a big deal. 5-star, he was the 3rd best quarterback in his class, the 5th player in his class, in the 2023 class, and what do you think about Dante Moore overall?
Again, another quarterback who has top 5 potential for sure for me. I thought that after deciding not to declare in 2006 or 2026, my bad, he's looking to cement himself into that top 5 conversation, sure, and not land on the Jets, of course. But one of the most inevitable. He was very efficient and good at throwing on the run. I thought I thought he was pretty quick release, really solid throw power, deep threat for sure. He was also a sure short thrower, medium thrower. I just thought he was accurate on all areas of the field. Extremely accurate and efficient, like I said, when it comes to completion percentage. He had a 71.6 completion rate this year with an 80.3 adjusted. Again, that's really good. I said he can be kind of quick to bail out of the pocket at times. That was one thing I didn't like. Not a great pocket presence. And I think he also benefited a little bit from run after catch from what I saw on tape. But overall, I really liked him. He put together a really good season, like you said. 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, 3,500 yards, almost 300 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He had a 90 overall grade. And that's obviously nothing to scuff about. Like I said, he had an 80% completion rate adjusted. He had 3 90-plus graded PFF games against Rutgers, Oregon State, and Washington. And he had 300-plus yard 4 touchdown games against Oregon State and James Madison. Yeah, I think another big downside of him was how he played against Indiana, which was good competition. He had a 47 pick six on the first play, and he had a 47.3 grade against Indiana in the playoff, and then a 47.8 grade against Indiana the first time. And that was the Natty champion. So that's the closest you're going to get to NFL competition, and he didn't play very well. And he also struggled with fumbles this year. He had 9 fumbles. So those things he needs to improve. I would like to see him put together another good year. But yeah, I don't know based on that fact if I would take him in the top 5. I'd see him as first round potential for sure just because of the positional value. And he is more of a veteran. He does have the skills. But overall, I would like to see a little bit more from him this next year against good competition. But overall, interesting prospect. I'm honestly surprised he didn't declare this year because I think he would have went way higher this year than next year because next year there's just so much more talent.
I agree. I know you made that joke. I actually wonder if he just did not want to go to the Jets.
No, I think that is literally, I think his agent told him not to declare because he was going to go to the Jets.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he probably would have been, what, 2nd overall, 3rd overall?
Well, he would have been top 3, for sure.
Yeah.
100%, because this class was not very good.
Down. No, yeah. And I wonder if he would have, I think the hype train was really rallying around Mendoza, but I wonder, he maybe could have gone 1, honestly. I don't think that's that crazy to say. Maybe that's just, I'm not a Mendoza hater, but, like, I don't even really like more that much, to be honest. Like, he's just fine to me. But I think he could have even maybe gone 1, to be honest. But yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you had to say. One thing I forgot to say with saying that I kind of have with every one of these quarterbacks is their level of NFL plays that I saw where I think they are the reason. Like, this was an insane play. It was kind of almost all on them. Good moment, good play. Sayan had 4. Dante Moore had 3 that I saw in 2025. And I think those best plays showcase his very elite ceiling. You kind of see it with the 5-star background, like what people are excited about when they talk about Dante Moore. I think the way he like layers his throws, it's just amazing for how accurate he is, and for how, I don't want to say how bad, but let's be real. Outside of Sadiq, who really didn't get that much production anyways, their wide receiver room is a bunch of like. Yeah, okay, bad.
Their highest wide receiver pick in the draft was Malik Benson, I think, in the 6th round.
Yeah, and then it's like DeCorian Moore, who's a freshman. Sadiq went like 500 yards. Like, this guy is accurate, and it's not his wide receivers that are carrying him. Kind of like a little bit in the sense of Sayans are. But yeah, quick release, NFL level arm. I love that he had a 2.54 time to throw. Most guys that we're going to talk about today are 2.8 or higher. He's one of the few that have that NFL.
Yeah, he had a really quick release. Game. Yeah.
So that's awesome. And then also that NFL level arm, you love to see that. The ball security does need major work. Yes, the rushing ability with the 300 yards and the 2 touchdowns is nice, but if you're fumbling 9 times, dude, you know, that's almost a net negative at that point. And then I think he just needs to impress next year, to be honest, to warrant the hype. Because, you know, he was so bad at UCLA, and I get that is in the past, but how he played against Indiana in some of the better games, and the fact that this is kind of just a 1 year of good production makes me feel like I need to see another year of you doing this before I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to put a top 5 pick. And for that, I once again am a little hesitant with the 1st overall top 10 potential. I just have a 1st round grade on him right now. I think he easily has the tools to step up into that. but I just think I need to see more for him next year, man, and more from more. But honestly, I think Oregon he should be just like saying next year. If he does not perform next year, it's kind of, I feel like, going to be up to him. The coaching staff is there, the offense is there, all the weapons are there. So that's the nice thing about Dante Moore and saying is that,
like,
they really have the
you'll
opportunity
know.
to prove
We'll
themselves.
we'll know for sure. Yeah, I was gonna mention one more thing. I don't know if it was just like if he just didn't run as much, but I thought he was more of a mobile threat. Honestly, like I thought he was gonna have more rushing yards than he did.
Oh, more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's like when he does, he like his best plays showcase that he can, but I just don't think he's like either comfortable doing it, or I don't think Oregon's offense wants him to do
like,
it. Because
I really thought he was more mobile than like what his production was.
Yeah, and I think he is. I agree with you. I don't know. It might be an Oregon thing, but it's weird because they have like one of the best college rushing quarterbacks of all time in Mariota.
Right.
I guess it's not the same coaching staff, but like I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe he improves upon it this year.
Yeah, but yeah, just something I wanted to point out.
Yeah, you want to talk about who do you want to talk about next? Levitt?
We can go to Levitt. I didn't watch him.
Okay, I thought you. Sorry, I forgot. Why don't I'll talk about Levitt? You talk about Messamaker, and then we can talk about Sellers.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So I watched Levitt, and I didn't, and then I watched Drew Messamaker, and I didn't. So this evens out really quick. So Sam Levitt, he was a quarterback at Arizona State, transferred to LSU, one of the biggest names in the portal. He'll be 22 on draft day next year, and he's 6'2", 205. In 2024, the ASU season where they went to the college football playoffs, he had a stellar year, 2,820 passing yards, 61.4 completion percentage, 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and an 88.5 grade. Some notable stats for him: he only had a 1.1 turnover worthy percentage. He had a 502 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns added to that, so he's super mobile. This year was honestly a lot less productive. It kind of fell apart for ASU and just everyone there. That's kind of why he transferred. I don't really know why. They kept Tyson. I know that they lost some like notable contributors like Cam Scadaboo. I know Xavier Gilroy had some big plays for them. I don't really know what happened, but it wasn't a great year. He only had 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Honestly, he still had a 6.9% big time throw percentage and only a 3.9 turnover worthy play percentage. That's pretty damn good. 398 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns this year, though, so he's still uber productive on the ground. And out of his recruiting class, he was a 4-star, 313th player in the 2023 class. So he wasn't like a superstar by any means, but 4-star, that's solid. The thing with Levitt for me is in 2024, he had 4 NFL plays, and in 2025, I know it was the worst season, but it kind of felt like he had to carry this offense. He had 6 plays for me. And honestly, like half of all his total plays were rushing plays. Like, he really wowed me. This guy's rushing ability is probably second best in the class. There's a guy we'll talk about later who I really, really like. But I think Levitt, man, has a ton of traits that, if he plays well at LSU this year, I have him as a top 10 potential. And I think he has more of a chance to go number 1 than saying it more. I think he has elite arm talent. He makes every throw. I mean, think about all the times that we were glazing Jordan Tyson, right? Where he's catching all these beautiful deep balls and making all these crazy plays. Guess who's putting that ball on the money for him? Yes, it's making the play, but Levitt is also a superstar, man. He's great improviser, like I said, great rushing ability. He's also a big game riser. Like, this dude took ASU to the college football playoffs, and every single game where they were heavily doubted on, he rose up and, they almost beat Texas in the college football playoffs. Yeah. And I think they only had like a 15% chance they were given. Like, they were not given really any respect in that game, and he almost beat them. I just said, this year obviously wasn't great. I think he needs to have a comeback year at LSU and put it all together. But man, anyone that's looked at LSU's roster knows this shit is stacked. It is unbelievable. And Lane Kiffin kind of gets a lot out of his quarterbacks. So yeah, I know that Kenny Dillingham is also a really good quarterback coach and was also just a really good offensive coach in college, but I think Levitt really just has the potential to go off for LSU this year. I mean, man, they have to be top 5 in natty odds for a reason, and Levitt plays a huge part in that. There's a reason that Lane Kiffin had the NIL money to go get any quarterback he wanted, essentially, and said, I'm going to go get Sam Levitt because this guy, I think, is a baller. And as much as Kiffin is, kind of a drama queen, his talent evaluation is top tier.
Oh, for sure.
So I really, really like Levitt, and I think he has a lot of traits to step up and be a top 10 or maybe first overall pick in this class. Do you have anything you've heard about Levitt or anything you want to add?
I mean, yeah, I think when I'm looking at Levitt's talent, this is a guy I wanted to watch, didn't quite get to him. I'm really excited. This is one of the biggest players I'm excited to watch this season, just because his 2024 year was so good, and I think this year he just battled injury. Arizona State wasn't that good, so I'm really excited to watch him play this year.
He was injured this year.
He was injured. He was injured. Yeah, he only played 7 games this year, and yeah, he played the full season in 2024, and he looks so much better. So I'm really excited to see what he does with even more weapons at LSU this year, and an excellent coach. But yeah, I mean, this dude has put together 900 rushing yards in the last 2 years, and that's not to mention that he only played 7 games this year. And then, I mean, again, he put up over 4,200 yards in those 2 years as well. Again, factoring in that he only played 7 games this year. And then on top of that, 34 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. And then, yeah, like I said, his rushing ability is really good. I have seen clips. Obviously, when I was watching Jordan Tyson, I mean, like you said, he's the guy throwing Jordan Tyson the ball. You got to keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch him play on LSU this year because from what I have seen, and I'm going to definitely watch him later for sure once I get more time. But yeah, I'm really excited about Sam Levitt. Like you said, I think he definitely could be top 10, even top 5, maybe number 1 overall. If he puts together an incredible year, I think he could be in the Heisman race this year if he plays like he did in 2024. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch him under Lane Kiffin, and that is Sam Levitt.
Yeah, so let's hear you talk about Mestamaker, who is probably one of the biggest risers.
Oh, for sure.
And became a college superstar, honestly, in the college football world. Say about him.
Drew Mestamaker. He was a guy that I watched a little bit first when I was talking about Wyatt Young in the previous video, because Drew Mestamaker was his quarterback at North Texas, and both of them transferred to Oklahoma State this offseason, and Mestamaker was easily the most productive quarterback I watched. 4,381 yards, 34 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, along with 211 rushing yards for 5 rushing touchdowns. He had almost 40 total touchdowns and 4,400 yards, and he was kind of the main reason North Texas was competent, in my opinion. Like I said, extremely productive. He decided to transfer to Oklahoma State, like I said. He is a really precise and accurate thrower. I mean, he was dropping balls to Wyatt Young and some of his other receivers that it was like really impressive, and I saw the NFL talent there.
Yeah, he has an insane arm. Everything I've heard is that he has maybe the best arm in this class.
Really good arm, really good accuracy, especially on like deep balls. It's kind of insane. Like, I've seen him get compared to Rodgers, and I think that's a little crazy, but like, I kind of see it on some of his throws that are really accurate, and he makes big plays. He's able to get yards with his legs when necessary, solid rushing ability. He's like I said, he scored 5 touchdowns on the ground, which is really solid. The biggest downside I saw in him is the competition he played. I mean, North Texas, this was the same thing I said with Wyatt Young. The competition was not there. And then when he did play the good competition, like USF and Tulane, which are his good competition, he threw 6 of his 9 interceptions in those 2 games. And then he also threw 2 more against San Diego State in the bowl game. So he threw 8 of his 9 interceptions in those 3 games. One was a bowl game, and the other 2 were against the best teams.
The 3 biggest games.
Yeah. The 3 biggest games, he threw 8 of his 9 interceptions. So that is definitely the biggest thing that I'm going to want to see him improve this year at Oklahoma State is improving his decision making and his play against good competition. But overall, I really like the potential I see. He's only 20 and a half as of now. He will be 21 and a half at draft time next year. Would like to see him play better against these good teams. But yeah, I really think he has the ability, and he just needs to put it together, because I mean, dude, he threw for 608 yards against Charlotte, which is kind of funny because Charlotte is horrible, obviously, but dude threw for 608 yards, bro. Like, that's actually just BTA.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe this might be hella disrespectful to say it, but like, I feel like if you took like the average best player on a high school team and like allowed them to be devoted towards football, they could easily make Charlotte's roster. Like, that might be disrespectful as hell, but
that's like, not crazy, bro. Charlotte is abysmal.
Dude, I don't think they've had an NFL guy in literally like maybe ever.
Well, it's because they can't recruit anyone because they suck, bro.
Yeah, dude, that is bad. But yeah, I obviously was a lot more into college football this year than Isaac was. We're both going to be into it this year.
Oh yeah,
obviously. But they were kind of the talk of the season in terms of like they might be the 12 seed in the college football playoff. Before that, they got beat by USF, right? I believe USF beat them.
Yes, I
think
so.
They did. Yeah. Wait.
I think they lost to USF
because they didn't make it.
But it was a shootout. It was a shootout.
Yeah, it was like actually it was a super electric game. I actually remember like watching it in between like breaks at my work. But essentially he just plays nobodies. And weirdly enough, North Texas, like the Avengers kind of assembled at North Texas this year.
Yeah.
Because I know that Caleb Hawkins was also their running back, North Texas's running back, was like insanely productive and insanely good. And I believe he also transferred to Oklahoma State. Obviously, Wyatt Young was one of the most productive college receivers. Obviously, Mestemaker was one of the most productive, if not the most productive quarterbacks. And then Eric Morris signs a huge deal to become the next head coach of Oklahoma State, and all these guys just transferred there with him. So for me, it's kind of like, well, who's helping who? Like, is Eric Morris good because of Mestemaker and Caleb Hawkins? Like, are Mestemaker only good because of Eric Morris? Is Wyatt Young only good because of Caleb Hawkins and Eric Morris? The only thing that we'll have a little bit more clarity on is how they play against a higher level of competition. But it will still be the same scheme. So for me, I didn't really want to watch Mestemaker because I kind of figured that the hype was a little crazy. I thought there was other guys to watch first. And I already knew enough about him where I didn't really feel like I had to do a deep dive. And honestly, I think this Oklahoma State season matters so much more than anything he did at North Texas this year. Like, let's be real. How he will be determined as a prospect in a year from now before the draft will not be. No one's going to be talking about North Texas. They're all just going to be picking apart this Oklahoma State year. So I'm super excited because I think Eric Morris's offense led to like 600-yard passing games, and Caleb Hawkins went off too. I know that. So hopefully he can bring back some juice to a horrible team that is Oklahoma State. But yeah, honestly, they'll be fun to watch this year. And if his arm is as elite as everybody says it is, which, it kind of sounds like literally everyone's saying that, then he definitely has a chance to be a first-round quarterback. And he's also built. Oh, he's built pretty damn big too. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, he's 6'2",
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. So no, I'd be lying if I said he didn't have a chance if he performs this year. So that's cool for Mestemaker. So yeah, do we want to talk about LaNorris Sellers now, or
let's do it? This is your guy. This is your guy.
Yeah. So South Carolina is one of my more favorite teams. They're one of my top 3 college teams, along with Bama and Minnesota. So I've been a LaNorris Sellers fan. I actually remember exactly where I was when we beat Clemson in 2024. I was in the gym between sets. And I was watching the game in between sets, and I was like, the game is over. The last play where it's like 4th and 11 or whatever it is, and he breaks like the 2 tackles and spins out and runs it into the end zone. And, Shane Beamer has the famous interview clip afterwards where he's like, if anybody wants a Heisman moment, it's this guy right here. And honestly, to me, that kind of describes what LaNorris Sellers is as a quarterback. I chart the NFL level plays from him. Sayan had 4, Moore had 3, Levitt had 4 in 2024 and 6 this year. Yeah, LaNorris Sellers had 9 in 2024 and 8 in 2025. This guy is just a highlight monster. His biggest plays showcase his absolutely elite ceiling. And because of that, I think he has top 10 potential. He's so young. He's like 20 years old. He'll be 21 on draft day. 6'3", 240. This guy's a tank.
Yep.
He is 30 pounds on virtually every one of the guys we just talked about.
He's
huge. Also probably taller, too. In 2024, which was the year that South Carolina's defense was elite and that they were borderline college football playoff team, he had 2,520 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. You might be like, oh, that's not that much. Well, it's because he's more of a rushing threat. He had 852 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. 76.6 PFF grade. That was a pretty good year. And honestly, this year, South Carolina's O-line was abysmal. It was almost unplayable. It was easily the best O-line, or the worst O-line in the SEC, and one of the worst in college football in college football. This year, he still, I thought, did fine. 2,433 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and then on the ground, he had 593 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Overall, as a recruit, he was a 4-star, 249th player in the 2023 class. I believe he almost went to Syracuse, but last kind of minute flipped to South Carolina, and yeah, he's now a superstar in college football. So What did you think about Lenora Sellers? Because I've always been a fan personally, but that's different than how I view him as a prospect. So I'm interested to see what you have to say.
No, definitely. I liked him a lot. Again, this is a good class, and all the guys I watched I thought had first-round potential. Lenora Sellers obviously being included in this. I thought he was a great improviser. He had almost 600 yards rushing, like you said, and 2,400 yards passing. That's nothing to scoff at, especially in the SEC on a horrible South Carolina team. He was done no favors, let's put it that way. And now, while the 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions looks bad, I think he played better on tape than that, and especially he showed that in the previous year. He had 18 touchdowns passing, and how many rushing touchdowns? Sorry, remind me. He had...
In what year?
Seven rushing touchdowns.
Oh, yes,
in 2024.
Yes.
So since 2024, he's had 31 passing touchdowns and 12 rushing touchdowns, along with 1,450 rushing yards and almost 5,000 passing yards on a South Carolina team that was obviously doing him no favors. And just the fact that he can do this in the SEC with a bad team, that is good. That's good. That's a good sign for me for the NFL when he's probably going to get thrown on a bad team if he gets picked high. And he's going to have to carry. I thought he had good throw power, good deep ball accuracy potential. He showed exciting sparks, like you said. Like, he has some incredible plays that you're like, wow, this guy is NFL level. I want him to improve statistically and production-wise next year. That would be ideal, because while the yards and the rushing and the passing is solid, and I know he wasn't done any favors, I would like to see him put together like an incredible season and cement himself in the top 5, because I want this dude to succeed. Because I really liked what I saw. I love the improvisation that he was able to show off, and he is like so unusually fast and athletic for how big he is. Like, he's 240 pounds as a quarterback, and he looks so quick on the field.
Yeah, he probably runs like a 4.4 or a low 4.5.
Which is insane, because he literally is almost the weight of a small edge. Yeah. And he's running that. But yeah, he also needs to improve his fumbling for me. He had a 52 fumbling grade, 6 total fumbles in 2025. So definitely needs to work on protecting the ball. But I think he played good against Missouri, Alabama, Texas A&M, Clemson this year. And again, this is on a South Carolina team that was not very good. They have Nick Harbor and Dylan Stewart.
And that's it.
And that's pretty much it. And Brandon Cisse.
On the offense, can you name somebody on South Carolina's offense that's not Nick Harbor in 2024 or 2025?
Faison, is that their running back?
Rasul Faison was their running back this year. Last year was Rocket Raheem Sanders, the UDFA went to the Browns.
I can't name anyone else other than Faison.
In terms of their wide receivers, I'm literally like, I like watching South Carolina football. There's not really like a notable number 1 guy.
Which it's like, just crazy that he put together.
They have a good freshman. I know that this year or last year. But yeah, dude, they in 2024, like, I have no idea how they weren't like, yeah, we need to go get this guy a weapon in the portal. It's not Nick Harbor.
I don't know. Even Nick Harbor hasn't lived up to what he should be living up to.
Oh, he needs to be a 2 in this offense until he can prove himself. I'm sorry, you can't be a 1. And honestly,
we were talking about how much we like Nick Harbor and his athleticism.
Yeah.
But like, he either needs to step up into that 1 role for Sellers, or they need to get Sellers a wide receiver 1, because it's obvious that Sellers doesn't have the weapons he needs. And
I don't think they did this year either.
And I don't think they did. And he showed that by the amount he was having to scramble and run away in the pocket. Like, he was the line was horrible. He had no options for receivers.
The number 1 guy they wanted, they got I believe Jacarius Peak. He was like a top 5 tackle in the transfer portal. Tore his ACL like the second he got to South Carolina.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so although weirdly enough, I think Shane Beamer, the coach, said that he'd be ready for the season.
No. If he tore his ACL, did he just tweak it?
Yeah. No, I remember Stock Exchange talked about this too, and they were like, how? But Beamer was like, I believe he exactly said, he was like, no, I'm confident he'll be ready to start the season.
Wait, what's his name?
I believe it's Jacarius Peak. I could have it messed up. I think he's South Carolina. Yeah, he was on NC State. Yup. And he joined
I found
in
him.
January. And he tore his ACL, I think, like immediately in January. So it actually wouldn't be like super crazy, because what's ACL, like 7, 8 months, 9 months? That would kind of line up with the start.
Like Micah tore his ACL, and he's not even going to be ready till week 5 of the NFL season.
Yeah, but isn't he not progressing well? That's what I.
No, he was progressing well. Like, he was
really?
he was doing like impact drills in sand, and like he looked fast. So I don't. That's weird. I don't know how he
Well,
would
his
be.
name is apparently his nickname is apparently Peak the Freak. So shit, he can
Maybe,
do apparently whatever he wants.
maybe he's just on a ridiculous recovery program. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe South Carolina's rushing him because they need him, which is
That
shame
could
for
also
one
be the
boo.
case.
But yeah, Lenore Sellers, to me because I didn't really get to talk about him as a prospect in a sense. Personality wise, I love this guy. One of my favorite players for sure. His loyalty to South Carolina is unmatched.
Yeah.
Apparently, like Miami was almost offering him like $10 million to come in the transfer portal, or
Mhm.
like that's what he said. And like his mom and like his dad were like, "No, you have everything you need at South Carolina," which is not true, but
Not true, but I mean,
it's
we
so
respect the
funny because
loyalty.
I'm literally a South Carolina fan. I want this guy to transfer because I think that his ceiling is so much higher, and I don't think he can tap into that here. But
Yeah.
still, it shows you that he has actually a head on his shoulders. But yeah, in terms of some of his traits, I mean, elite arm, probably the best arm that I watched in this class. Just straight up, like this dude makes cannon plays all the time, puts it right on the money,
And he makes it look
throwing to,
easy.
like absolutely nobody. Yeah, he makes it look easy. He's traded up beyond belief. Just like I know I sent you this meme, but like I believe Clint, who's head coach of the Raiders is Clint Kubiak, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. He describing Brock Bowers, he was like he's like a football angel cyborg from heaven.
Yeah, you sent me.
That's what I feel about Lenora Sellers. That's how traded up he is. He is a football angel cyborg from, sent from the gods. But, and honestly, like I watch his rushing tape and I watch him have that crazy play against Clemson. I genuinely think he has potential to be a Lamar level rushing threat at the next level. I do. Like,
And he's like way bigger than Lamar. Like way bigger.
Like he trucks guys. Like Lamar doesn't really truck guys. He jukes guys. So Lamar's obviously quicker. He won't be as fast as Lamar, but like, bro, he runs into the end zone, runs over guys, and
No, I know.
be able to do that against virtually anybody in the secondary. And I kind of said the same thing as you. I just think he needs to put it all together next year and really produce. And it's gonna be hard. I mean,
It will be.
might
100%.
have to go back to college another year and transfer or stay and hope it gets better. But because I don't really see South Carolina getting that much better next year. But man, I really want this guy to succeed. I think his ceiling, he needs to work on his pressure to sack ratio or percentage, and his completion percentage needs to go up.
Yep.
But his time to throw also needs to get below sub 3. There's things he definitely needs to mop up on. But the traits and the ceiling and, his best plays showcase it's a top 10 potential.
For sure.
Honestly. And if he puts it all together for a season and shows that he's coachable, I don't see how he's not, one of the higher quarterbacks in this class, to be honest. But yeah, I really, really liked him. And do you have anything else to say, or should we move to Arch Manning?
I'm ready to move to Arch. Yeah.
All right, so Arch Manning, out of Texas, he will be around 23 on draft day, one of the older quarterbacks in this video we will be talking about. He is 6'4", 219. This past year at Texas, he had 3,163 passing yards, 60.8 completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and had an 87.3 PFF grade. Some more notable stats for him. He had a 519 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns on 4 fumbles.
Yep.
And all his other stats were just fine, I thought. In his recruiting class, he was a 5-star. He was the first overall player in the 2023 class. Personally, you look at that 2023 class, I think it was kind of ridiculous. I think he was there because of his name. I'm not even really sure if he was a 5-star, to be honest, coming out of high school at the time. But now I think he is actually a decent player. What did you think about Arch Manning? Because it seems like he is a very controversial player in college football and coming up in the draft. I mean, he's a Manning. Of course he's going to be.
Absolutely. And I actually really liked him. From what I watched, like I said, all 6 of the guys I watched, I thought were first-round potential for sure. I thought he was one of the most intriguing QB prospects just because of his name. He's obviously a Manning, so you have high expectations for him because Eli and Peyton were both in the NFL, so you would expect him to also kind of take that trajectory. I thought he had an excellent combination of ball security, passing accuracy, and running ability. Made him really tough to defend against. Good pocket presence, I thought, but able to escape and pick up positive yards when needed. He showed that with his 500 yards and 10 rushing touchdowns, like you said. Easily the most touchdown productive rushing quarterback. 10 rushing touchdowns is kind of insane. I thought he moved through his progressions well, but of course there were some concerns, like with every quarterback. I thought this was his first year starting, so this is something to keep in mind because he has only had 1 year under his belt. So obviously it's going to be important what he does this year. He's going to need to put together another good year, if not better, to cement himself in the high first round or first round in general. If he has a bad year this year, he could see himself falling out of the first round because he is older. And while his receiver struggled with drops, his completion percentage was lower than I would like. 60.8% completion percentage, 73% adjusted, which adjusted, it's good, but that's assuming that the receivers catch every ball that was thrown at them. So he needs to increase that completion percentage for sure, because that's something that is really important in college if you want to progress to the NFL. And I think those are the biggest downsides for him. He has good size. I really liked 6'4", 219. Really good size for him. And then, I like the way he ended the year, too. 3 of 6 of his games were over 300 yards and 3+ touchdowns.
Yeah, he did have a good end.
The beginning of the year was pretty shaky, though. 4 of 7 games
really
he started
bad.
Less than 200 passing yards. And, of course, this was his first year starting, so keep that in mind. He's still getting used to the game. But, like, we look at Julian Sayin, on the other hand, his first year starting.
Who's also way younger, too.
Who's like also younger, and he played fine to start his season. So definitely something to be concerned about. But I thought he had good games against Vanderbilt, Georgia, Arkansas, Michigan. He closed the year out well, so hopefully he will fix the start of the year problem next year, and he will open up strong and end strong. Would really like to see him play a full season of good football. And that's pretty much all I have. Yeah,
so with Arch, I think he is incredibly overrated. I think I want to preface this, he still has first round potential for me. I still like Arch. But I mean, let's be real. When people talk about Arch Manning, they're like, first overall, we're marching for Arch. The Dolphins are going to be bad next year. I think that is ridiculous to say. I don't even think, if I had to put money on like who's going to go first overall, maybe it would be Arch just because his name and like media presence. But if it was truly based off talent, there'd be like 4 or 5 guys I'd, put money on before him. And honestly, I think this year, if they would have had competent quarterback play in the first half of this year, they would have been a playoff team. Just straight up. And he kind of had like a really good situation. I mean, let's be real. Last year, he got to play in the moments that Ewers didn't. It's not like he had 0 time playing. Like Sayin, perfect example, did not really play at all. Stepped into this role, really first time ever starting or playing any football at the college level, and was pretty damn good. Heisman finalist. Manning struggled against like UTEP and like San Jose State. Like Texas offense could not get going against horrid teams. Like teams that they should be beating like 50-0, and like they are struggling because he could not be accurate. He was throwing balls in the dirt. He was throwing balls way over or way under, and that shows in his completion percentage. He did have a good second half of the season, but they would have beaten Ohio State if he would have not been just horrid.
Right.
Like, let's be real. If he would have played anything
the Texas defense held
they would have won.
Yeah, the Texas defense held Ohio State to 14 points, and they couldn't win.
But he was bad in that game. That first game happened, and people were like, "Is he even going to be the starter for Texas?"
Yeah,
that's how bad it was. I remember watching that game. I will say though, the comeback in the second half of the season and some of his traits definitely do warrant that first round potential. I mean, he's really big, 6'4", 219. He has great rushing upside, overall great traits. His arm's pretty damn good overall. Now, he's inaccurate as hell, but when it's on, it's on. He's putting the ball right where it needs to be. He's hitting these deep throws. He's able to layer some of these throws. It's very inaccurate at the moment, and it's like all over the place, but it's definitely something that he can work on next season. And I just think he needs to be very, very good next season for the hype to be warranted, to be honest. Which, I agree. If he does not look amazing next year with Steve Sarkisian as his head coach, with Cam Coleman as his wide receiver and Ryan Wingo as his wide receiver. And then he also has Raleek Brown, one of a top running back transfer from Arizona State. And then he also has Hollywood Smothers, a top running back transfer from NC State. This guy has a stacked running back room. Trevor Gooseby is one of the highest rated tackles on PFF.
Yep.
He's elite O-line.
Yeah.
He has an elite running back room, elite coach, elite wide receivers. I don't know who their tight end is, but it's probably fucking amazing. I mean, let's be real. There's no reason for him also being older than all these guys and having the more experience,
he needs to show
more time.
A lot.
He needs to be good this year. Otherwise, I kind of want to just say, like, I'm done with him, man. You've shown me who you are. You've had such a good, like, it's only going to get much worse at the NFL. It will never be this good, ever. It just won't be. And if you don't play excellent, then I'm not drafting you in the first round. But
I mean, Gooseby and Cam Coleman are both projected top 15 picks by PFF. Like, there's no reason that he should not have a good season this year at all.
So this is the biggest prove it, and your you're good, or don't prove it, and I'm kind of done with you. Like, I've seen this play before. So that's Arch Manning. I still have first-round potential because the traits, what he has shown in his ceiling, definitely is there. It's not like people are just saying first overall for nothing. But I'm just a lot more skeptical with this player, and I think that name holds a lot of weight. I wonder where he would be at if his last name weren't Manning. That's all I have to say.
Right, that definitely.
Honestly. But, yeah. So is there anybody else you watched? CJ Carr?
I watched CJ Carr, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Byron Brown really quick, and then we can talk about CJ Carr. But Byron Brown was the star quarterback out of USF. He transferred to Auburn this year. God damn it. One of my favorite players transferring to Auburn. I mean, it's actually a fine situation for him, and I still think Bama's going to beat him, so I'm not too mad. But, yeah, I have him as top 10 potential, man. I like Byron Brown a lot, and I have for a long time. He is 6'3", 231. He is huge, like Lenora Sellers. Funnily enough, though, I know he's 10 pounds lighter. He kind of looks bigger than Sellers to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's more condensed, but this guy looks like, god damn, he is rocked up. But this year he had, great production, 3,131 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 91.5 PFF grade. He had a 75.6% adjusted completion percentage. That's pretty damn solid. And you want to talk about rushing production? This guy had 1,100 rushing yards this year, 14 rushing touchdowns, and 7 fumbles. This year, he had 4,200 all-purpose yards and 42 all-purpose touchdowns.
Yeah.
That is insane at college. I get that he didn't play great teams, but when they did play the better teams on this schedule, like when they played Florida, they beat Florida because Byron Brown kind of locked in. They beat North Texas because this guy was slinging it and nobody could stop him. Coming out of high school, there's a reason he's at USF. He was a 3-star, 1,185th player in the 2022 class. He is a little bit older in that sense. Actually, he's going to be 22 on draft day, but his class was older than a lot of these guys. And yeah, overall, elite tanky build and is a monster of a player. Man, this guy has 1,100 rushing yards because no one can tackle him. Guys just bounce off him. He is so condensed. It's like, try and stop this guy, you're just going to bounce off of him. I mean, he's so fast, too. I honestly think, like, on the field, he looks like a men against boys. I get this is because he plays in a not great division. But, like, honestly, or division, is that the right word at the college level? Conference, yeah. That's what I meant to say. This is why I'm fine they transferred to Auburn, because he needs to prove it. And Auburn, is not a great team by any means. They don't really have any notable weapons. Their coach is he just followed his coach, by the way. Alex Golesh got the deal from USF to Auburn, so he transferred here. I know that a lot of the wide receivers from USF also transferred to Auburn, so that's nice. He'll have some familiarity there in the wide receiver room. But I just think, he needs to prove it against SEC Cap this year, because I feel like I'm the only one that's really talking about Byron Brown. Like, he is a name if you know college football, but in terms of, like, as a draft prospect, he's not really getting talked about that much. He needs to prove it, to be honest. No one really cares about this production when you're at USF. It's not going to go noticed as it should. And the only thing I had to say about him, in the negative sense, his throwing motion is very, very weird.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, it is, I don't know, like, I've never seen anything like it. He starts, and he, like, kind of, like, the ball's here, he, like, brings it around like that. Like, he, like, literally, like, dips it down and, like, rocks into it. Like, instead of just, like, kind of going back into it, like, it's super slow. His throwing motion is super slow, and I've seen it get talked about before. But it's weird because when there's pressure in his face, he does it, like, fast. So it's, like, fine. But, like, when he has time, I think he's more comfortable doing this, like, weird motion. So I don't really know if it's a problem or not, to be honest. Like, obviously you wish it was just quicker and, like, snappier and, like, easier to just fix and, like, look normal. But, like, yeah, dude, it is weird.
Yeah, I'm watching clips because I just want to see it.
That's the only thing where I'm like, I don't know. It didn't look like it was ever a problem at USF, but
That's interesting.
It's like a fucking 360, like, loops his arm. I don't even know how to describe it, really.
He
look up some Byron Brown clips, I guess.
No, I know. He, like you said, he, like, pulls it down, and then he goes around.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's, like, a comfortable thing. I mean, he has a great arm. It's not
it looked like it.
Lacking. So, I don't know. I guess it's something to look out for. But, yeah, he could tear it up at the SEC, man. Alex Golesh is a really good coach. So, I'm looking forward to watching Byron Brown this year. And if you have anything more to add, He's really fun. He's one of my favorite players in college football. So.
I really like his measurables, 6'3", 232. Like you said, that's kind of like Lenora Sellers, where he's just big. And he runs, like, dude, the fact that he has 4,200 all-purpose yards and 42 all-purpose touchdowns is kind of nuts. And like you said, he plays at USF, so definitely want to see how he plays at Auburn, because Auburn's obviously in a better conference. It would have been nice if Cam Coleman would have stayed at Auburn and give him a good weapon. I don't know who Auburn has now.
I know that they had a former, like, 4-star who was a top 50 player that's actually transferred to Minnesota.
Okay.
So, like, their wide receiver room actually got picked apart. I know.
So, yeah, he might not have many weapons, but yeah, like
all the USF guys, though. All the USF guys transferred over. And obviously he was making plays with them, so I mean.
So yeah, I guess if he can do the same thing at Auburn, but yeah, like he had 4 90+ graded games this last season. That's kind of insane.
No, he was like unstoppable.
But yeah, the biggest thing I think is his age. I mean, this will be his 5th season.
No, I think he's only 22. I looked up his age, and unless I'm wrong, I didn't see that he was. Yeah, I saw 21.
He turns 22 on September 29th, so he'll be 22 and a half.
So he'll be 22 and a half. That's not that old. I mean, like,
that's not that bad. I thought he was gonna be older because of his 5th year.
Arch Manning's older. I think.
That's interesting. But yeah, I should watch him because I've heard no buzz about Byron Brown,
which is weird because he's literally transferring to Auburn.
He's transferring to a big team, so something to keep in mind. I'll be interested to watch him because that's the fact that 1,100 rushing yards is insane for a quarterback.
It's nuts.
That's insane.
But. Yeah, do you want to talk about CJ Carr, or do you want me to talk about briefly, like, one of these, like, guys like Darian Mensah or something?
Do you still have 2 guys you were going to talk about?
I have Mensah, Sorsby, and Mayava. So if I just knock out...
Yeah, just knock out another one really quick.
Okay, so Mensah, he was a quarterback at Duke. I kind of had that whole fiasco where he, like, signed his contract with Duke, and then Miami was like, oh shit, we're in the Natty, and the timeline's really weird. We need a quarterback next year. Let's pay Darian Mensah $8 million and pay all his fees or whatever. So, yeah, he's at Miami now. You know, he'll be 22 on draft day. Mensah was the first guy I watched that I did not think had first-round potential. I think he only had day 2 potential, but I think he's still a really good quarterback. 6'3", 205, has decent size. In his last year at Duke, he had almost 4,000 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and an 84.1 grade. He had 28 big-time throws for a 5.2 percentage, 15.6 pressure to sack percentage. That's pretty solid. 76.2 adjusted completion percentage. That's fine. And then as a rushing threat, he virtually has no production, only 143 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and 9 fumbles. He was at Duke for a reason. Was not a great player coming out of college or high school. I mean, he was only a 2-star, probably one of the lowest rated people on this list. So cool to see him at least in this conversation.
Absolutely, yeah.
I charted him with 4 NFL plays that I saw, and overall, I thought he had a great build, cannon of an arm, absolute cannon of an arm. That's awesome to see. I thought he had elite production and kind of like multiple Superman games to keep Duke alive most of the season. Like the fact that they were ACC champs should be like pretty much all on this guy, to be honest. I mean, I know he was throwing to Cooper Barkate, but watching Mensah, I think it's more of Mensah than Barkate. But I guess we'll see. They're both at Miami this year.
They both transferred to Miami, yep.
I think he's very poor as a rusher, and, you know, overall, if he wants to, you know, be in this first-round conversation, he needs to face better competition and prove himself. But what's awesome about this is that he is at Miami.
He has the perfect opportunity.
Yep, Miami has Malachi Toney, Cooper Barkate, a lot of really solid weapons, a good O-line, always an elite defense. Mario Cristobal is consistently proving to be one of the top 5 coaches in college football.
Yep.
And, he's getting paid so much, so he shouldn't be stressed about anything financially. Like, Mensah has a great opportunity. I just think that he needs to do a lot more than some of these other guys because I think he's just a little bit worse. But overall, it's a fun watch and elite arm man. So you love to see that that's there because that means the sky's the limit for his draft potential.
Definitely.
You know, because you can be as good as you want to be, but if you don't have an elite arm, NFL teams ain't going to like you. And then if you can be not that good of a player and have an elite arm and they're like, hey, we can work with this. So, you know, we'll see. I think he could have a monster season at Miami this year, and I'm glad Miami got a guy that they seem to be interested in. So
absolutely. And if Miami's interested in him, they obviously see something.
I will say he was kind of like one of the last guys in the cycle, so maybe they didn't really want him, and it was kind of like a desperation thing.
Yeah, maybe.
hard to believe that they paid $8 million for a guy they didn't really like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, like you said, Cooper Barkate went with him, and I watched Cooper Barkate, so I did get a little bit of Darian Mensah film, and I like his deep ball a lot. Like, Cooper Barkate was getting a lot of deep balls, and Darian Mensah was putting the ball right where it needed to be. So it'll be really interesting. I mean, now he has Malachi Toney, arguably a top 2 receiver in the country. One may, and Jeremiah Smith is probably better, but he might be the second best receiver in the country.
Yeah,
and
might be. Yeah,
I would say, in my opinion, I think Malachi Toney is the second best receiver in the country, and now he's at Darian Mensah's disposal. So he has no excuse really not to succeed. I'm sure his O-line is still good. Miami does a good job of upkeeping their team every year. So it'll be really interesting to watch him. And he's going to need, like you said, he's going to need to do a lot because he is like very high on a lot of boards. So if he's going to want to move up, he needs to have a great season, not just a good season, a great season. And I think he can. I think he showed at Duke that he has the potential. He just needs to continue to develop and prove himself. And
it's just a big step up.
Yeah, it is a big step. So it'll be interesting. I would probably, I mean, I haven't seen him, so I can't really give him a grade, but I would like to watch him. But from what I've seen and heard, I would probably say he's not going to be a first round at the moment, but...
Yeah, you know what's really funny I just realized about Mensah, too, is obviously Miami has aspirations to win the Natty every year. Mm-hmm. But Mensah's won the ACC much more recently than Miami has. That's kind of funny to me.
They probably went and got him because he won the ACC.
Yeah, so, like, you know, my thing is if he can win the ACC at Duke, I would like to think he could probably do it at Miami, but then Miami just always has a generational sell. So,
well, and the other thing is, like, maybe the reason they went and got him at Duke is because he's already played against the Miami defense and he's watched the Miami offense more because he's been on the sideline. So maybe he can kind of
the conference.
So maybe he can kind of integrate better. I'm just trying to think of like why they would have paid so much to get him if they weren't confident in him.
Well, because he was the last quarterback. Right. Genuinely, there was none, and they paid for him to leave his contract at Duke. Because of the way the Natty schedule worked out, they were much more focused on winning the Natty, rightfully so, than caring about who their quarterback was next year. So when they got out of it, there was really no one, and then everyone had already committed by then, and then they were like, all right, Mensah, do you want to leave Duke, and we'll pay you, like, a fuck ton of money? And he said, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So.
I mean, I would have said yeah, too, so.
100%.
$8 million?
Like, 100%, yeah. I would have done it for, like, $500K, bro. I mean, obviously Duke was probably paying him that, but like, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to talk about Carr though?
Yeah, let's talk about Carr.
Yeah, so CJ Carr out of Notre Dame, I believe he was a redshirt freshman this last year.
Yes.
22 if he's drafted next year. 6'3", 210. This year at Notre Dame was pretty damn good. 2,741 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 85.1 PFF grade. He had 21 big-time throws for a 6.5 percentage, pretty damn good. 73.2 adjusted completion percentage, pretty damn good. He had a 10.5 pressure-to-sack percentage. That was probably the best out of anybody I watched outside of one guy.
Yeah.
That's like NFL stuff. You love to see that. He had a 2.54 time to throw. Love that, too. Super professional. That's what you want to see. And then rushing ability, he had 124 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 4 fumbles. And he was a pretty big recruit. He was a 4-star in the 2024 class, 68th player, almost a 5-star. And obviously is now Notre Dame's starting quarterback who has, college football aspirations virtually every year. What did you think about CJ Carr?
Yeah, I was a big fan of him. I saw first-round potential. I thought he's... So, yeah, like you said, redshirt freshman coming into his second year starting. So that's something to keep in mind.
Starting. Second year in college football. Last year they had they got Riley Leonard.
Oh, that's
right. Their natty run, they had Riley Leonard. Yeah. But he was there as a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman.
He started last year, though.
Oh, sorry. I thought, yeah, last
That's
year.
what I'm saying. This is his second year starting coming up.
You're talking about...
Coming up. Yeah. Coming up is his second year starting. No, sorry. Yes. Sorry, I might have said. But yeah, I thought for an offense that is primarily run heavy when you have Jeremiah Love, I thought he was good when he needed to be. Excellent deep ball thrower, solid against the blitz. I can't remember exactly what grade PFF gave him, but he was really good against the blitz. And on tape, I thought he played against the blitz well. So calm under pressure like that. Showcased some dual threat ability. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, not like great yards, but 3 rushing touchdowns is solid for someone who doesn't run that much. So he showed he can kind of do it when he needs to. Accurate at placing the ball, good read progression. I said his biggest knock was he had a great supporting cast. I would like to see him play without Love, Eli Raridan, Malachi Fields. He lost multiple good offensive linemen to the draft. I'm sure Notre Dame is going to do a good job replacing them, but like Jeremiah Love was always available on checkdowns. Eli Raridon, good tight end. Malachi Fields, I know we kind of hated on him in the draft, but like he was their one. He was a solid receiver.
He was a good college player.
He was a good college player. But I would really like to see Carr put together another good season without some of those big name guys. But yeah, I mean, like you said, solid production. And all this was on a run heavy offense. Like he had 2,700 yards on a run heavy offense, 24 touchdowns. Yeah, pretty good production. He's just solid build, 6'2", 210. Not like amazing, but solid and good, well graded. Good pass grade. Completion percentage could go up a little bit. That's another thing he could work on. 65.2% is a little bit low for my liking in college, but not like the biggest knock. And then I looked at the 3 biggest games that he played in, which was against Miami, Texas A&M, and USC. Those were the best teams they played. He had a 60% completion rate, 650 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 2 rushing touchdowns. So 6 total touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's not bad. We'd like to see the interception number drop maybe a little bit. But other than that, I mean, he put together some good games against good teams. And then he had 90-plus grades against Purdue and Boston College. Not great teams, but still good to see that he can put up good numbers against bad teams. And he had 200-plus yards and a touchdown in 9 of his 12 games. So, like, he was very consistent. Like, to put up 200-plus yards and a touchdown in 9 of 12 games is really solid. So yeah, I like him. I kind of rambled a little bit, but like I just think like in a offense that is primarily run heavy, to show that kind of production and to show that you can play at a high level when needed to is a good sign for the NFL when he's going to be probably getting more passing snaps. But yeah, I would like to hear what you have on him because I think you said that you liked him. So
yeah, I really like CJ Carr, and I think I can project him as probably going to be one of the higher drafted quarterbacks this year because a lot of the things he does are just super NFL ready right now. Mm-hmm. I have him as a top 10 potential. I think he was like my 3rd favorite quarterback in this class or something. This is his first year starting. For a 10.5 pressure to sack percentage, that is elite. Evading pressure at that level and not getting sacked, that is so good. His deal, like you said, dealing with the blitz and pressure was amazing for a first year starter.
Absolutely.
73.2 adjusted completion percentage is pretty damn good in my opinion for a first, year starter. 2.54 time to throw is amazing. I get that Notre Dame has a little bit of a quicker pass system, but or offense, but like that's still really, really good. A lot of these guys
for sure.
3. He's already at 2.54. Like that's awesome. And you're right. With Jeremiah Love and this team being primarily a rushing threat for how much production he had and for how composed he looked. He had 6 NFL plays to me. Like I thought he played with great tempo and rhythm. And dude, he's a first year starter. Like honestly, I didn't really expect much from him. And I know that you said that his offense was fine, but I actually think that compared to a lot of these guys, he had some of the worst weapons. Like Eli Raridon and Malachi Fields, I was not the biggest fans of. I mean, yes, Jeremiah Love was the Heisman contender that gets most of the attention, but like when he's a great passer, right? Down the field passer, he's a great passer, and I didn't really think they had a super elite. He doesn't have Jeremiah Love. I mean, let's just be real. He doesn't have a guy that he has that super big connection with, like Barclay, let's say, or Wyatt Young. So, I think for his situation and his first year starting and for how young he is, I thought he played really, really well. And then his first game ever starting was against Miami's defense.
Yeah. Yep.
He kept him in that game, man.
Absolutely.
That
was an impressive game. I'm trying to think. He had no interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 200-plus yards.
He had a good game. Yeah.
Like, he played well.
Because Jeremiah Love didn't do anything in the Miami game.
Yeah, he only had, 30 or 40 yards?
Yeah, they gave him 10 carries. And I know that because Jeremiah Love didn't play good against any good competition, but I also just know that he didn't, But yeah, he kept him in that game as a first year starting. That's elite.
That's impressive.
To be honest. And I just think he's super collected, great field general quarterback. Like, let's be real, these guys are loved at the NFL level. They just are, and I think he needs to showcase better against some better competition, hopefully in the playoffs next year. It's hard for me to say that because I hate Notre Dame. I wish the worst for them. But I do like CJ Carr. So if they do get in the playoffs, I hope they lose 2 playoff games in, but he plays really good both times so that, we can see what it's like against some solid.
Right.
But, I would just love to see him replicate this season even better now that Love is gone and honestly just showcase that, I am a top 10 guy. Yeah, I can be first overall. Yeah, I am an NFL level quarterback because I think he is. So, I like CJ Carr.
Yeah.
But, I have 2 more guys I'm going to talk about. I think you can add on to both of them.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they're both pretty big names. It's Jane Maiava and Brendan Sorsby. One of them, I think, is my favorite quarterback. What one do you think it is? You think it's Maiava or Sorsby? Sorsby, to me, is the only one in this class that has first overall talent potential.
Okay.
I loved Sorsby, and the worst part is he will not play the season because of the gambling issue, which is hilarious. Not really. It's really sad, actually, but it's kind of like, damn. So, I said Sorsby, Texas Tech, maybe when I watched him. It looks like he will not play this year. I believe that Texas Tech's appeal for him to play was just denied like literally yesterday. So I don't know if he's going down the supplemental draft route or if he's just taking the NCAA to court again. I don't really
could.
Like, there's no really rules in college football anymore, it seems. So I have a hard time believing anyone has it or any authority.
Yeah.
Like, we being like, oh no, God, the old Trinidad Chambliss, they're like, oh no, he's too old. But then like an Ole Miss local judge is like, no, he's good.
Yeah.
Like, what? Of course he's gonna say that. Like, I don't really know.
And he's addicted to gambling. He's just like me for real.
Exactly. Dude, and that's the funny thing. Brendan Sorsby looks like the chillest dude ever, bro.
I know, dude. He looks like a chill dude.
No, but he's 6'3", 235. Perfect build. Just right off the bat, perfect build. Everything you can want. Last year at Cincinnati, he had 2,782 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 90.3 PFF grade. He had 23 big time throws for a 6.4 percentage. Anything over 6 is pretty damn good. Anything over 5 is pretty damn good. And he only had 7 turnover-worthy plays for only a 1.8 percentage. That is amazing. His pressure to sack ratio or percentage was 6.1.
Wow.
CJ Carr's was 10, and I was gawking over that. He is 4% lower. He has a 2.82 time to throw, so that could be improved a little bit, but that's still pretty damn good. 596 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and 4 fumbles. So he has elite traits, elite size. He has great NFL presence and timing. He has elite rushing ability, great ball protection. Coming out of his class, he was only a 3-star. That's why he was at Cincinnati in the 2022 class. He is a little bit older. And funnily enough, I only chartered him for 2 NFL plays that really wowed me. And you might be like, well, then why is he first overall for you? Because the way they played at Cincinnati was so safe. They didn't really ask him to go insane. This team almost made the college football playoff. And to be honest, I know that they had Cyrus Allen and I know that they had Jeff Caldwell. But those guys they were both UDFAs.
Well, yeah.
So it's like this guy was the reason that Cincinnati was pretty much almost in the college football playoffs.
Well, and their defense wasn't like that good either. They had like Jake Golday was like their highest drafted player. You were so happy about that pick.
All right, yeah, just trying to be optimistic. Totally not what happened with JJ McCarthy, right?
Son.
But yeah. Anyways, so Sorsby, they didn't ask him to go insane. They just asked him to make, pretty decent throws, and he just always made them. That's what I love about him. They asked him to do, like, 6 out of 10 things, difficulty-wise, a ton throughout the season. Never really that much easier, never really that much harder, but every time, 100% virtually. He was on. And that's the reason why Cincinnati almost made the college football playoffs. When they did need him to make those elite plays, those game-saving plays, those deep down the field plays, he delivered, man. And that's where those 2 NFL plays come from. And I think his ceiling, like, it shows when they ask him of it. I just don't think they ask that of him that much. That's why I would love to see him play at Texas Tech, because their offense is so different. It would be perfect for him. But yeah, just overall, I think he's an elite field general, very, very smart player. Cannon of an arm. I honestly think he has the best arm in this class. I don't think it's close. Like, every throw is, he's doing the sidearm. He's doing on the numbers, down the field, over the middle, quick middle, super deep. He's making like 60-yard throws look effortless. All the analytics, all the numbers, all the PFF highly graded, like, the pressure to sack ratio are amazing, just straight up. And he made Cincinnati like an actual dangerous team, and that's Cincinnati. And then I just said the only issue is it's the gambling issue. He's probably going to have to do the supplemental draft, which I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not really sure how it works. The way I've heard it described to me is that it's like teams gamble on picks and are like, I'm willing to use a 2nd-round pick on him next year. And then, like, if another team's like, yeah, me too, then it's like a 50-50 thing. And then if there's a team that has the balls to be like, hey, I'm going to give a first. I don't know if he's going to get a first, though, with the gambling issue. Like, so I have literally no idea what's going to happen with Brendan Sorsby's future. Like, there is a chance that he never plays football again, to be honest.
Which is so really sad, bro. It's so sad. Like, because I didn't watch him, but, like, everything I saw, I watched some tape when I watched Jeff Caldwell and a little bit of Cyrus Allen. Yeah. And, like, some Cincinnati game. Like, dude, he looks so talented, and I wanted to watch him. I just didn't have time. And like, I was really excited to watch him. And the fact that he might not play football ever again is just so sad, bro.
And I don't like to talk about things that like aren't football straight up on a football show, but like, it's so sad because gambling is such like, it is a disease, it is a virus, it is aimed to infect young men in his position of success.
Right.
And it might not seem like an issue, but it ruins careers, it ruins relationships. It's so sad to see. I do not like gambling at all. I know we joke about it, and it's like,
of course.
But like in real life, it is a cancer, honestly.
Of course,
and it has the potential to ruin this guy's career. And I don't know him personally. Maybe he's a douche. Maybe he's an amazing guy. But anytime I see a player with all the talent in the world have his career ruined over something so stupid and something that is essentially weaponized against him, it's just really sad to see. And
for sure,
I don't really know what he was betting on, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know the exact situation. I just know it involved gambling. But it just sucks to know that he might not play football ever again. I hope he gets a chance somewhere.
Like, dude, even if he could even if he doesn't get gambled on. Or even if he could like go to the UFL and like prove himself and like get a contract in the NFL. Like, I just want him to. I want to see something, bro. Because like
I think it's all there, man. Yeah, it's just it's too bad. But we'll see. I guess if there's any major updates with him because of how highly I view him. Maybe on future shows, if there's something really big, we can discuss that. But as of right now, his future is very unclear, and it kind of looks like the supplementary draft might be the move for him.
What's up, guys? Isaac here with a quick update on the Brendan Sorsby situation. A few days ago, a local judge actually overturned the NCAA's ruling that Sorsby would not be able to play this season, so Brendan will now be eligible for the 2026 season. Whether you agree with the overturning or not, Cam and I are both extremely excited to watch Sorsby play for Texas Tech, and we will give a deeper dive, I guess you could say, into him once the 2027 draft gets closer. But anyways, back to the video.
So
yeah,
I'll talk. Unless you have something to say, I will talk about Jayden Maiava from USC really quick.
No, yeah, I think we talked about everything. I mean, like I said, I'm not like an expert on him. Obviously, I haven't watched him in depth, but from the things I've seen, I would really like to see him play this year. But from what it sounds like, he won't. But hopefully, he can work everything out, because that really sucks. Like, and literally, like you said, gambling is something that is it's almost like it turns into addiction, and addictions are hard. So hopefully he can figure it out, and hopefully he can figure out a way to get in the NFL, because I would really like to see him there.
But now talking about Jayden Maiava from USC, who'll be 23 on draft day. He was one of the other two guys, along with Menzel, that I thought were day 2 potential before they were first round picks. But I still think Maiava's a pretty solid player. 6'4", 230. This last year at USC, he was very productive. 3,711 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 86.2 grade. He had 27 big-time throws with a 6.2 percentage, 21 turnover-worthy plays with a 4.6 percentage, so kind of almost even. 72.3 adjusted completion percentage, 8.2 pressure to sack percentage. That's awesome. You love to see that. Sub 10% is elite. 2.88 time throw. That needs to get down a little bit. And then as a rusher, he had pretty decent production. 234 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, and 4 fumbles. He was a 3-star in the 2022 class, 855th player. I believe he played at, I forget where he played at before, but it was not USC. He transferred.
UNLV.
UNLV, yeah. I was going to say, I knew it was a West Coast team. But my thing with Maiava, I think he has an okay arm. It's nothing elite. That's honestly the biggest knock for me. All these other guys are first-round talents just because of their traits in a sense, and then they also have the production. It's hard for Maiava to get drafted over these guys that are just equally as productive with just better traits. Right. I also think, let's be real, he had Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane. Lake McCree was their tight end. Walker Lyons was also a really good tight end for them. I don't know if they're running. I don't think their running back room was good, but
it was Kings.
I was gonna say, I thought it was King something. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But I'm kind of I had question mark carried by wide receivers. So both those guys are gone this year. So it will be interesting to see how he plays at USC this year. Yeah, and I just said I think he has the potential to be good. I think he just needs to step up this year, and he needs to prove that he can play. Without Makai Lemon, the Biletnikoff winner, without Jacoby Lane, a 4th-round pick, and a highlight reel player.
Third round
honestly,
pick.
just a third round pick. Showcase that arm talent maybe a little bit better. Maybe it just wasn't showcased to its maximized potential this year. Maybe improve as a rushing threat, get that time to throw down a little bit. And overall, then you're a pretty safe quarterback, and you have potential to be a first round pick. I mean, the size is there, the production at a very high level is there, and he seems like a good kid. So, I would like to see Jaden Mayava have some success. I just think next year needs to carry USC, and also it would be cool to see USC be good again because they're always like weirdly on the fringe of like good, but like not good enough to ever be anything. Yeah. So he carried them to their first year, like where they go to the college football playoffs. That'd be really cool to see. So,
well, dude, and like I thought honestly, like I didn't watch him specifically, but obviously I watched a lot of Makai Lemon, a lot of Jacoby Lane. Yeah. And like, dude, he put together good games against like Illinois, Michigan, even Notre Dame. He played solid. I know he threw 2 picks, but he had 2 touchdowns and 328 yards. Like that's something to scoff about. And like when you look at his stats, like you said, he's a solid runner, solid passer, and I mean he's the starting quarterback for USC. So that's obviously nothing to be like to underestimate. But yeah, I'm interested to watch him, interested to see how he plays this season. But yeah, I just think that some of the plays I did see of him, that he showed some NFL promise. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Again, interested to watch him because I'm going to get to a lot of these guys that we've talked about that I didn't watch later, either during the season or after, depending on who moves up, who moves down as the season goes on. But yeah, do we have anyone else? I'm trying to think. I think we hit everyone.
No, I have some shout-outs, though. I wanted to watch Marcel Reed.
Marcel Reed.
There's, like, no hype around him as a prospect, but he's, like, in college, like, a very big player. I think overall his game's just kind of sloppy, and I think he needs to improve, and he has the excellent opportunity to with, like, Mario Craver next year. But he is definitely somebody who has, I think, the size and the athleticism to be a solid quarterback. I didn't watch him for a reason. I think it's more of a long shot than a lot of these guys, but still a name to be put out there. I know. Funnily enough, I don't know if he's eligible this year.
I think
Minnesota's quarterback, Drake Lindsay. No, I'm talking about.
Drake Lindsay. Drake Lindsay.
I'm not even trying to just glaze Minnesota. He actually, I think he's not eligible. He's actually getting because he is 6'5", 230, and is actually pretty damn accurate and has been really solid as a freshman. He was really, really good, and he was like Arkansas's Mr. Quarterback. He kind of consensusly was under-recruited. So Minnesota picked him up. That's kind of like what we do. That's what PJ Fleck does. So he actually has been getting some NFL talk, but I just don't think he's eligible this year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was someone else. Dylan Raiola, I guess, is eligible, but he's not going to be starting behind. He's not going to be starting over Moore, so it's kind of like.
Dude, that would be insane if he started over Moore.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But I don't know. Is there anybody you have to shut out? Because I'm trying to think. I don't. We covered everybody that's getting serious draft hype.
I don't think there's really anybody else. I'm trying to think. I don't,
because I searched 3 different big databases for quarterbacks in this class, and none of them had a name that, and then I also just used my knowledge. Trinidad Chambliss, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, he's super old and he's really small. Just straight up, I did not watch him because it is going to be very, very hard for him to be a first round pick in this loaded of a class. And sorry, but when you're small and you're 26 years old,
why didn't he declare this year? I don't know.
No idea.
Dude, he would have gotten picked in the second or third round probably, which is insane.
Yeah, so that's my opinion on him. Maybe I'm just hating, but
he is really old.
Two horrible traits to have as a prospect. Josh Hoover out of TCU. Very, very turnover-worthy prone, but obviously he transferred to Indiana, and look what just happened with Mendoza.
Yep,
so,
that's a good point.
I know Curtis Rourke balled out and didn't get drafted at all. Mendoza did, so who knows what will happen with Josh Hoover.
Yeah, and when you have Chris Ignetti as your coach.
Nico Imaliava, obviously still showed flashes on a horrible UCLA team.
But, who's the guy from Tennessee? Who's the Tennessee quarterback? Am I stupid?
Aguilar? Joey Aguilar?
Yeah, was it? Or did he get drafted already? I'm trying to, bro.
I think he is a UDFA this year.
He might have. I'm stupid.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't really think he's that relevant, though, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. Gunnar Stockton has. I think the offense Georgia runs, though, is not NFL at all, and he hasn't even looked that good in it, so that's why I did not watch him. I will say, if there would have been somebody out, John Mateer, I do want to watch John Mateer from Oklahoma, because just like my boy Isaiah Satania, the Oklahoma boys on offense get very neglected, and he is not super big. He's like 6'1", 224, which I mean weight wise is fine. And I know he was injured really bad, and like the production was fine. But I think Mateer is still somebody that he was talked about early of the year, like could go first round this draft. And obviously going back to Oklahoma, they're a big program. So if they go back to the college football playoffs and he balls out, sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely.
And then like honestly, I'm going down this list. There's like literally no one else.
But dude, I mean, we just talked about what 15 quarterbacks. Like last
like in depth, like 8 guys.
The last draft class literally was like 2 relevant.
Yeah. So,
and like we just talked about like 15 relevant guys.
Yeah. No, so there's definitely, I would say, 5 guys that if they were 5, maybe even 6, that if they were first overall, I'm not surprised. And that means that there's guys that have serious first round potential. So I do think if your team is in need of a quarterback and you are, trash enough to get a top 5 pick, you probably will have your quarterback next year. I mean, just straight up. Like, I don't really see a world where like the Cardinals or like the Dolphins aren't able to select a guy that they don't like next year.
The Dolphins, they have Malik Willis.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna be like, what do you want to do? But so it's a good quarterback class though, considering how trash the last like 2 years have been. Hey,
yeah, I'm excited. It'll be a really interesting year for quarterbacks because all these guys are coming into their NFL draft. I guess
a lot of them have a lot to prove.
A lot of them had a lot to prove, and there can be a lot of shifting before the draft. So it'll be really interesting to watch. But yeah, we just talked about some of the big names to watch for quarterbacks for the 2027 class. What are we thinking next time? Maybe
I would love to do running backs.
Hey, I'm down for running. This is a good
watch.
It's
an amazing running back.
Yeah, I think we'll do running backs.
Position.
I think we'll try to hit running backs for you guys next time. We're hitting some fun positions off the bat. Edge, DT, wide receiver, quarterback, and then running back. This has been fun. Exactly, yeah. We're hitting the best positions, and they're all fun. So we're going to probably have running back out next for you guys. Hopefully week and a half. So yeah.
Hopefully soon.
Soon. It should hopefully be sooner than this video.
I wanted to do a quick turnaround personally because this one was long. But obviously it's up to our schedules, and we're both pretty busy with work right now. So
absolutely. But yeah, so that was our quarterback overview for the 2027 NFL draft class. This is the Neutral Zone. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Yep, see you guys.